over the next 6 weeks, we're going to do a 6-part series called Foundations of Hatha. And in these classes, we're going to do a gradual progression through some of the foundational principles and techniques associated with Hatha yoga. So instead of being more of a flowing practice, we're going to be taking our time to explore each posture and break down sun salutations and not go into technical pranayama practices straight away. We're just going to get right back to basics, starting with breath awareness, starting with simple meditation. And the next 2 weeks, we're going to start with standing postures predominantly. We'll still do a little bit of wind down at the end of the practice, but the focus will be going through standing postures. Then we'll move on to seated and on the floor postures, and then we'll do forward and backward bends. All right, and make sure you've got your props handy as well. I'm actually going to get my blocks over to the top of my mat for sun salutations. If you have for your practice blocks, a bolster, blankets, belt, make sure it's all within arm's reach. Hey Kirsty, nice to have you on. All right, so let's begin. Sitting in a comfortable position and just giving yourself some time to settle in and let go of your day. And if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, you can. Allowing your shoulders to soften, your belly softens, feeling your hips heavy on the floor. Breathing naturally and bringing awareness to the sounds around you, some close by and some further away. Becoming aware of the feeling of the air on your skin and your clothes resting on your body. You're bringing awareness to your breath without changing or judging your breath. Just simply cultivating awareness of the journey of your breath in through your nose, down your throat and into your lungs. And following it back out again as you exhale, feeling the breath leaving your lungs, out your throat, out your nose. Just continuing on at your own pace, inhaling and exhaling. And there's no need to try and extend the breath or deepen the breath. We're simply watching the breath. And as you cultivate this awareness of your breath, and notice any natural shifts that occur, that even without trying, perhaps you start to take fuller, more complete breaths. Maybe you start to naturally slow down your exhalation, observing the effects that has on your mind and body, helping to calm your thoughts and bring you into a state of presence in your body and on your mat. And you can continue just watching your breath in this way, or if you'd like to go a little deeper, we'll add the count in our mind of inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 4. And moving from here into our first meditation practice, Goranga breathing. So still keeping your breath flowing naturally while I set you up for this form of meditation. So what we'll be doing is inhaling and in our mind drawing the sacred sound Goranga into our mind. And as we exhale, we say the sound out loud, Goranga, for the entire length of our exhalation. So as we draw the mantra into our mind and say the mantra, we're simply resting our mind and heart in the beautiful sacred sound. So let's begin by exhaling completely, emptying our lungs. And take a breath in. And say the sound, Goranga. And we'll do that 4 more times. Inhale. Goranga. Inhale. Goranga. Inhale. Goranga. One last time. Inhale. Goranga. And returning back to your regular breathing pattern. Allowing the mantra to resonate through your mind and heart. Bringing your palms together, rubbing your palms together to generate some heat. And slowly opening your palms over your face, bringing that warmth into your face and gently massaging down your temples and your cheekbones, along your jawline and maybe around your neck. And coming back to a seated position, and we'll move into some asana now. Starting by warming up the spine, taking your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you. I have an extra vertebra in my spine. Not really. I have a long spine and relatively shorter arms. If you feel for some reason like you have to bend or compensate to place your palm down on the floor, you might like to take a block behind you. So you can place the block right behind your sacrum, so it's there for both sides, placing your palm down into the block, and that helps you to give that nice lift by pressing down as you rotate around to the right. Turning your head to look over your right shoulder and softening into your face. Softening into your belly. One more breath here. Slowly come back to center. Round to the other side, taking your right hand to your left knee and your left palm behind you. Pressing down into your palm, lift and rotate around to the left, turning to look over your left shoulder. And another principle we'll be exploring in this series, particularly today it's important to introduce for our first practice, is the cultivation of effort and ease, which is central to Yogasana practice. One more breath here. And release back to center. So while we do need to apply effort and we create tension in our body, we also want to counterbalance that by softening where possible. So as we were just pressing down into our palm and lifting and rotating around, there's certain areas that you are applying effort to come into and hold the pose, but then learning to soften into your jaw, soften into your belly, relax your knees down toward the floor. You're creating this beautiful balance between effort and ease, which is central to that yummy feeling that our practice gives us. And it's a wonderful principle to take off the mat as well. Let's take the spine from side to side, lowering the left hand to the floor, reaching the right arm up and over. And over to the other side, hand to the floor, arm reaches up and over. Now seeing if we can marry it with our breath. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, soften into the elbow. Inhaling, up and over. Exhale, soften. One more time each way. And come back to center. Making your way to the top of your mat, and we'll get into some sun salutations. So, I've got my blocks for underneath my hands at the top of my mat. So you might like to have them available to reach for just in front of your feet or alongside your feet. Before we go into the sun salutes, if you want to have a play with your blocks first, just having your feet hip distance apart or together, up to you. And just as if you were going into a forward fold with palms to the floor, you want to be able to lift the heart center forward. So if you're having trouble reaching for the floor, the options are to take your hands to your shins or take your hands to the blocks, where again you can lift up, or maybe it's like this, with the short side under your hands, lift and lengthen, so that you're really prioritizing alignment rather than just trying to keep up with the shape of the pose. You're getting that full embodied feeling of that lengthening through your spine, pressing down through the palms and feeling your heart center lift and offering it forward. So when you don't have that full capacity to press down, you miss out on some of that opportunity to lift. So up to you whether you want to use blocks or just slide your hands up the shin. Both ways work. I'll have mine there just for demonstration purposes. So let's come up to stand at the top of our mat. We're going to go a little bit slow for the first sun salute, and then we will gradually build up to a little bit more of a flowing movement. We're going to do 3 sun salutations in total. Beginning in mountain pose at the top of your mat, grounding down through your feet and lifting into the crown of your head. Shoulders down away from your ears. Take a breath here. Inhale, raise the arms up, bringing the palms together and taking your gaze to your thumbs. So what this does is allows you to drop your head back and really reach and feel this little bit of a lift right from the top of your chest, from that point between your collarbones. As you lift and look toward your thumbs, you feel this gentle opening and lengthening through the spine. And then exhaling, soft bend through your knees for the first one. And we're going to fold forward, hands to the floor. And this is where you might like to take blocks under your hands. So folding forward. Then inhale, lifting into a flat back, looking forward. Exhale, hands come to the floor, and we'll step back for the first one, stepping both feet back, navel drawing in. Option to bring knees to the floor. Bending through the elbows, with the elbows sliding down through the ribs, alongside the ribs. And inhale, flattening out through your feet, pressing down into your palms, lifting the chest either into cobra or hips come up off the floor, looking forward. Beautiful. Again, option here to bring knees to the floor, but you don't have to. If you feel able to, you can drive through the belly, so you lift and drive through the core, lift the hips, and then taking one foot at a time, flipping the toes, flipping your feet over to find yourself in downward dog. And when I'm warming up and when I'm teaching, I always give people the opportunity to warm up their downward dog. So bending one knee at a time, alternating, lifting the heels, also known as walking the dog. And then you can also play with your shoulders a little bit as well. And this is just nice if you've been out all day and you feel like you need to just stretch out a little bit. Feel free to do that in the early stage of your sun salute. Checking your hands that your fingers and thumbs are spread nice and wide. Scoop in through your belly and press back into your hips. Good. So here we will hold for 5 breaths, but we've already been holding quite a bit, so we're going to step the feet forward to meet the hands. And inhaling, lift up, look forward. Exhaling, fold forward, bend through the knees for this first one. Inhale, hinging through the hips, navel drawing in, reach the arms up. Exhale, arms down by your side. One little thing I want to mention too is don't feel like your hands have to come up this way when you're coming up to stand. They don't have to come out this way. It really just depends what feels comfortable for you and how you like to move and what feels like a nice expression. What you can sometimes feel is that if you were to raise your arms out, that's a longer lever, so it takes a little bit more strength, which is lovely. Out to the side feels really lovely and expressive. But you could also do this. You could just bring your arms up and reach up, which might feel good as well. So this is the invitation is open to modify your sun salute to suit yourself, to do what feels good for you. Let's go another one. We'll flow a little bit more now. This time we'll focus a little bit more on the breath. All right, standing at the top of your mat. Inhale to reach up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, hands to the floor, jump or step back into plank. And lower down straight away. Exhale. Inhaling, cobra or upward dog. Exhaling, lifting through the belly, driving back into downward dog. And we'll stay here for 3 to 5 full breaths. One. Two, taking your time with each breath. 3. And let's inhale. And exhale. And as you exhale, jump or step your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhaling, lift up, flat back. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, lifting all the way up, looking to the thumbs. Exhale, return to mountain. All right, let's do one more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Going in your own breath rate. I'm just here to guide you. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step back. Lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, lift back into downward dog. Fingers and thumbs are spread nice and wide. Reaching back into the hips and lengthening down into your heels, counting 3 breaths. Inhale one last time. Then exhale. Jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, arms by your sides. Take a breath. Noticing how your mind and body feel. And when we come to the middle of your mat now, when we are moving through a dynamic flow like that, the balance of effort and ease can be very much effort on a physical level, but a lot of ease through the mental space. So it isn't always this clear cut, oh, I'm flexing these areas in my body, therefore, where can I relax? Sometimes you're in a state of flowing tension, but the repetitiveness or the predictability allows you to soften mentally, or the challenge, I should say, too, is to, even though you're feeling that tension in your body, to see if you can soften into your mind, soften and ground into your breath, which makes the flow or the challenge that you're facing more tolerable. All right, coming to mountain pose now. Standing with your feet hip distance apart. And softening your knees so that you're not locking your knees out completely. They might have a gentle bend or just straight legs. Stacking your shoulders above your hips, shoulders down away from your ears. Extending into your fingertips. And begin to lift into your spine, lifting into the crown of your head. Feeling your ribs gently lift out of your waistline. Gently tuck your chin. Soften your gaze. Tuning into your breath. And we'll hold here for another 5 breaths. Good. Taking your time with each breath and feeling that connection between your feet and your mat or the earth beneath you. And then feeling your upper body extending into the sky and feeling that contrast of lightness as you ground down, bearing into the earth beneath you. Getting ready to come out of the pose by relaxing your shoulders and your hands. And maybe release a little, bringing softness into your belly. Good. You guys can stay in that same position. Feet are either together or hip distance apart to move into chair pose. There's 2 different ways you can do chair pose. Play around with both. Again, the invitation is to get to know the postures and the different ways of practicing so that you feel empowered to choose an approach to practicing that feels aligned with you and your body and what feels good for you. I don't always practice chair pose the same way. Some days I practice the deep squat, some days I do the upright squat. So it just depends on how you're feeling on the day sometimes. All right. So we're going to inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, sweep the fingertips down by the floor, coming into a deep squat. Raise the arms up, bringing your arms first to shoulder height and draw the navel in. If you feel you can go further, taking your arms up by your ears. Feeling the stretch on your ankles, and then seeing if you can drop down a little deeper, noticing the engagement through your thighs. It's completely okay to take your toes, your knees over your toes. You might just feel it more in your ankles then. Whereas if you take your knees back, you'll feel your center of gravity shift, and you may feel it more in your thighs and your hips. Keep lengthening through your spine, so lifting through the belly, lifting into the crown of your head as you drop the hips down. Keep breathing. One more breath here. Feeling that cultivation of heat internally. Then inhale, press all the way up to standing. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Take a breath here. Let's bring the feet together. And this is the upright alternative option, is to inhale and, exhale. Sweep the fingertips down, raise the arms up, bending through the knees, dropping into a squat, but we are taking the arms up and bringing the shoulders above the hips. Palms come together, and again, gazing toward the thumbs, sinking down into the heels, sinking down into your hips, spread your toes, and press them down onto the mat. Staying here for a couple more breaths, seeing how deep you can go into the squat. Keeping your breath flowing naturally. One more breath here. And pressing down into your feet as you lift up and straighten your legs. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Take a breath. Noticing if you can feel the heat and a little bit of circulation, blood flow through your body. Shake out your ankles and feet. Okay, coming back to a balancing pose now. So back to feet together for tree posture. Tree posture, that sounds very formal. Tree pose. Just to get our bearings before we go into the balancing pose, take your hands to your hips and lift your right foot up off the floor. And if you like, you can take your hands then to the front of your knee, drawing your knee in, giving your hip a little bit of a stretch, and getting your bearings for standing on one leg. Okay, releasing that knee, hands by your sides, lower your foot to the floor. We'll switch to the other side now. Hands to your hips for balance. Raise the left knee out in front. Take a couple of breaths here. So when you are kind of just priming yourself for this balancing posture, finding a point to gaze at, getting that center of gravity feeling, starting to notice where you need to engage. Inhale, taking your hands around your knee, drawing your knee in, stretching into that hip, maintaining a fixed but gentle gaze. Shoulders down away from your ears, and release with control. And come back to 2 feet together. Bringing your toes, right toes to the floor, right knee out to the side. This is a modified version of tree. And even if you're in the modified position, we still want to engage as much as possible. So drawing your navel in, hips are engaged, lifting through the spine, versus, how's it going, mate? So these are the little things that we want to cultivate in our practice, that attention to detail and awareness and feeling the areas in our body that perhaps are requiring a little bit of effort. And when we apply just the right amount of effort, it creates this beautiful sense of poise and ease. So if you'd like to progress further, start to slide the sole of your foot up your leg to a place that feels comfortable. Possibly, ideally, taking the sole of your foot to your inner thigh. The secret here is to press your thigh and the sole of your foot in toward each other. So there's compression between the two, and this helps with engagement through the hips and center line of the body as well. All right, keeping your gaze fixed. Inhale, bringing your hands to prayer, taking your arms up, opening the palms, and holding here for a couple more breaths, feeling that standing foot working, feeling those little adjustments that are occurring as your body and mind coordinate with your nervous system to maintain balance. And on your next exhale, palms come together in front of the heart, and lower your leg and lower your hands. Just give that supporting foot a little bit of a break. Take a breath. And let's switch to the left side now. Grounding down through the right foot. Bring your left toes to the floor with your left knee out. And start to feel into stability of your hips, engaging through the hips. And lifting through the spine. And if you'd like to explore going further in the pose, taking your sole of your foot to your right inner thigh and press the foot in. Whoop. Press the foot in and finding that stability, bringing your palms together in prayer position. Inhale. Taking your arms up. Navel drawing in. Shoulders down away from your ears as you reach your arms up. Breathing naturally. One more breath here. Palms come together. Lower the arms and the hands. Lower your foot back to the floor and release your arms. Shake out your feet. All right. Stepping to the top of your mat. And take a moment to ground down into your feet. Take a breath. I would recommend starting with your feet hip distance apart because we're going to step back into high lunge. So to maintain stability, we want our feet to be positioned hip distance apart. All right, let's move on to high lunge. See how you feel for balance. You might like to have your hands to your hips, or if you feel more expressive, take your hands up, take your hands to prayer position, whatever feels comfortable for you. Inhale, exhale, reaching the right toes back, toes come to the floor. Bending through the left knee and trying to stack your shoulders somewhat above your pelvis and begin to find your edge of softening down into that front thigh as well as lengthening into your back heel. Anytime this gets too strong, you can carefully lower the back knee down into a low lunge. Or you can modify it by bringing the back foot in slightly and coming a little bit up out of the pose. Inhale, raise the arms up. Shoulders down away from your ears as you reach up into your fingertips, softening into your face and seeing if you can have a gentle drawing in through your belly. And this is going to help maintain stability through the pelvis and help with your center of gravity. Natural breathing. Good. 2 more breaths here. Beautiful. And getting ready to step the back foot forward. Navel draws in, leaning your shoulders forward so that you've got that bit of balanced weight to help you shift forward. So navel drawing in, stepping the back foot forward. Take a breath. Okay, inhale. And exhale, step the left foot back, toes to the floor. Feet are hip distance apart. I think part of the reason why I do hands to hips is so that I can feel that my hips are pretty much neutral. I think it's really easy to go and swivel out and choose that path of least resistance. So hands to the top of the hips, you can feel the tops of the pelvis there. And settle down into lengthening the heel back, dropping into that front thigh, navel in. And on an inhale, reach up. Holding here for another 4 breaths. And how can you cultivate a balance of effort and ease? Where are you needing to apply effort? And where can you soften and relax? One more breath. And getting ready to step forward. Come back to standing. Arms by your sides. And take a breath. Beautiful. Stepping any foot back so that you can face me comfortably. Separating the feet wide. Coming into triangle pose. Reaching the arms out to the side, making sure you got your blocks handy. Turning the right toes out and bringing the left toes in. Navel drawing in. We're going to lift and lengthen through the spine, sliding the hips over to the left, and feel that thigh bone drawing up into the right hip as you reach out over to the right. And if you are using a block, you can set up your block on the outer edge of your foot. So from here, hips moving to the left, body shifting to the right, thigh bone really drawing up into the hip socket. Lengthening, 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 and then palm comes to the floor or to the block, floating the left arm up. And if you find that you're having trouble with this arm not feeling like it's sitting right, bring it down in front of you, just let it relax, and then take the arm out in front and bring it back up to center, because we want to have a tiny little bit of internal rotation to prevent that winging out to the side. But sometimes when we come from this angle, it can get a little bit funky, a little bit stuck. Further still, if you want to go into extended triangle, you can lower your upper arm toward your ear, turning to look up toward the heavens, the sky, softening into your face and pressing down into your palm, pressing down into the soles of your feet, strong through your body and legs. And then let's come out of the pose. If you like to be safe on your joints, bring a soft bend into the front knee. Inhale, take the arm up, press down into that lower hand, navel drawing in as you come all the way back up to standing. I'm going to take my block over to the other side, rotate the right foot in, the left foot out. Who's already feeling relaxed, even though we're applying effort? Because it takes so much coordination and attention to detail. It takes your mind away from everything else. A beautiful sattvic escape. So we've got the left foot turned out, right foot turned in slightly. Inhale, arms out to the side, sliding the hips to the right, reaching over to the left, thigh bone lifting and drawing into the hip socket so that it feels really nice and connected, and lower the arm down. Taking the arm up, right arm up, pressing down into your feet, pressing down into your lower palm, and then maybe taking your upper arm to your cheek or ear, turning to look up, tuning into your breath, and feeling that kind of all these different points and lines of energy from your feet up to your hips, hips down to the feet, hip out to the fingertips, strong through your core. One more breath here. And to come out of the pose, maybe a soft bend through that front knee. In any case, lifting up, core is on strong, reaching through the top fingers, pressing all the way back up. Turning both feet back to center, lower your arms, and heel toe your feet back together. Take a breath. Exhale. And take a moment here to notice the impact on your body. Where are you feeling it? Through your legs, your hips. And step to the top of your mat. Feet are hip distance apart. We'll step the right foot back, coming into warrior one. Your back foot is turned in at an angle that feels comfortable for you. Generally speaking, it's about 45 degrees, but because everybody's hips are different, placing that back foot at a position that feels comfortable for you. That might be turning those toes out a little bit more to give yourself some more space through the hip. Maybe you're able to turn the toes in a little bit more. So just have a play around with that and find what feels good through your hips. And then start to focus on the front leg of dropping down into the front thigh, stacking your knee above your ankle. So it can look like this, or it can look like front thigh parallel to the floor, and that's a little bit more intense through the hips and the back leg, a little bit more intense of the weight that you're carrying here through the front leg. So choosing a position that feels good for you, and then taking your arms up. So there'll be that slight rotation of the left hip drawing back. And just see if you can bring a little gentle pull of bringing the left hip back and the right hip forward. One more breath. And rotate the back foot and step forward. Yes, I can feel it in my legs. Take a breath and we'll switch to the other side. Whenever you're ready, stepping the left foot back. Placing that foot at an angle, about 45 degrees, and bringing your attention to your front leg, dropping down into the front thigh, stacking your knee above your ankle, and then begin to gently bring the back hip forward and the front hip back. So you're not going to bring your hips completely square. That doesn't make sense because you do have a little bit of rotation, a bit of external rotation through this hip. There's going to be a slight twist, but mentally we're trying to guide our hips back to as square as possible. And then inhale, taking the arms up. And you might engage through the hips to create stability or draw in through the belly. Reaching up strongly into the fingertips, sliding your shoulders down away from your ears. Breathing naturally. Good. One more breath here. And spinning the back foot and stepping forward. Whew. Shake out your legs. All right, we'll come to a nice broad, just two more standing postures. We will, and then we'll be winding down. So we're going to go into Warrior Two now. So stepping your feet out wide, turning your right toes out. And again, we're going to be dropping into that front thigh. I'm going to be feeling it tomorrow. I just know it. So my legs are going to be feeling it. We're going to drop into the front thigh. And as you start to drop into Warrior Two, you might find that you need to walk your feet out a little. So just dropping down into your hips, trying to stack your knee above your ankle, and potentially go thigh parallel to the floor. But if that feels too much, just going to a position that feels good for you. Your back foot is running parallel to the end of the mat, or maybe slightly turned in. Then inhale, raise the arms up to shoulder height. Strong through the fingers, turning to look just beyond your right fingertips. One more breath here. I have been talking a lot as we hold. Now inhale, straighten through the front leg. Turn the right toes in and the left toes out. And drop down into the left thigh. Turning to look just beyond the left fingertips. And just check if you're leaning into the pose, following your fingertips. If so, bringing your shoulders back above your hips. Good, 2 more breaths here. Pressing down into your feet, lifting your ribs up out of your waistline, and simultaneously bearing down into your hips, your thighs, your front thigh. Inhale, lift up, straightening that leg, rotating both feet to face the front. Let's stay here. Take a breath and bring your hands to your hips. Now bringing both big toes in slightly. So it might feel like you're slightly pigeon-toed with the outer edges of your feet running parallel to the ends of your mat. And here you might like to use blocks under your hands as well as we fold forward. Coming into standing wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Folding forward, hands reach for the floor. Take a breath here, propping yourself up. Then exhale, continue to fold forward, walking your hands underneath your body. And as you come down, you might like to walk your feet out a little bit wider so that the crown of your head can reach the floor. Maybe you walk your hands all the way through, making any adjustments you need to, moving your feet closer to one another or a little further away. And feeling that lengthening through the backs of your legs. Your feet are working and getting the benefits of an inversion as well. Long through the spine and gently tilting your pelvis forward. One more breath here. Very nice. Press into the floor. Lifting halfway up, take a breath. And bring your hands to your hips. Maybe a gentle bend through the knees as you press up to standing. And come up to stand. Heel toe your feet all the way back together. And shake out your legs. Wonderful. Finding our way down to the floor. That's what we wanted to hear. We're ready for this. Ready to unwind and relax. All right, let's go into some simple seated stretches now. We'll go nice and gentle, starting with your legs extended, soft bend through your knees, taking hold of your feet. And from here, if you feel like you can straighten your legs, go ahead. Otherwise, keeping your knees bent, belly to your thighs, and curl forward. I'm just staying here for a couple of breaths. Gently scoop in through your belly as you lift and lengthen forward. Flexing your feet, toes flexing back toward you. And inhale, lift up. Bring the soles of your feet together, taking your knees out wide. And clasping your feet, drawing against them to help you lift. Lifting through your upper body as you press your knees down toward the floor. I'm just letting you know I can feel sweat beads running down my chest. So that was standing postures, and they're good, no joke. And further still, folding forward, dropping your elbows down to your inner thighs, pressing your knees down toward the floor. Two more breaths here. And slowly come up. Bringing your knees together, giving yourself a little hug. And coming down onto your back. Really moving heavy into the cultivation of ease now. Our standing postures, there was a lot of effort-dominant techniques where we had to really search for the pockets of where we would cultivate ease. And now we're going into predominantly easeful postures and just finding just the right dosage of effort. Going into a spinal twist, taking your right knee over to the left, toward the floor, extending your right arm out to the side, turning to look toward your right hand, and using your left hand on top of your right thigh to gently encourage your knee down toward the floor. softening through your belly. And taking your time, gently come back to center. Straighten the right leg, bending the left knee and taking it across your body. Extending your left arm out at shoulder height, turning to look toward your left hand. And right hand rests on top of the right thigh, gently encouraging your knee down toward the floor. Relax into your belly to allow for the twist through the lower back. And see if you can gently encourage your left shoulder down toward the floor. Come back to center. Hugging your knees in for a moment, and then making yourself comfortable, lying in Shavasana. Feel free to take a bolster under your knees to soften into your lower back, or take something over your face to block out the light. And then turning your palms up and allowing your feet to naturally fall out to the sides. You can continue to lie here as I guide you through a short relaxation. Just observing how your mind and body feel after your practice. Noticing if your mind feels a little quieter, maybe a little more calm but alert. Hopefully your body is feeling a sense of ease. Now just taking your awareness all the way down to the soles of your feet. And just relaxing each body part as I mention it. And we'll scan through our body from feet all the way up to our head. Begin by relaxing from your big toes to your little toes. Relax the soles of your feet and feel your heels getting heavier and heavier. Soften into your ankles. And soften into your calf muscles. Relax your knees. And relax your thighs. Relax your hips. And soften into your belly. Allowing your chest to be heavy and relaxed. Relax your shoulders, your arms, your wrists and hands. Feeling the gentle prickling sensation of prana circulating your palms. Gently guiding your awareness over to your lower back. Feeling your sacrum broadening and releasing. Relax your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, and your neck. Your head is heavy and your face is soft. Relax your mouth and relax your jaw. Your entire body is heavy and relaxed. You feel safe and warm. Nothing else to do and nowhere else to be. Just rest. Now starting to wake up your body by wriggling your fingers and toes and gently rocking your head from side to side. And rolling over onto your side and resting for a moment. Option to push yourself up to sit or to continue laying where you are. I'm going to take you through just a few minutes of kirtan, so chanting mantras with my harmonium. And yeah, you're welcome to just rest. So however you feel comfortable, sitting or lying down, just do whatever you like. So with kirtan meditation, I'll be singing the mantra, Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. I'll sing it through twice. And then ordinarily, you, the audience, or the participants, would repeat it back to me. And that way we go back and forth, chanting and listening to the sacred sounds. But because we're online, I'm just going to chant the whole way through, and you guys can listen and sing back, but obviously I won't hear you. But just try to rest your mind and heart in the sounds and sing from your heart. It's not about how you sound. It's really just about connecting with the mantras, surrendering into them, and just joining in as you feel comfortable. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. 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 Beautiful. And we'll close off our practice by bringing our palms together in prayer position and bowing our heads to offer our respects to each other. And bowing once more to offer our respects to the Supreme Soul. Namaste. Lovely to practice with you guys.